Hello and welcome to the Broad Sport 1. I'm your host, Nafi, and we've got the casters. If you want to introduce yourselves, please. Middlecott. Bro, come on. Yes, there we go.
I think your job as host is to introduce the casters a lot of the time.
Okay, well.
Nafi.
Alright,
As
well,
someone who's been in the business for 7 years, I thought you'd have known to have done that by now.
mate, this is my second stream. Second one.
Second decade in the business.
And but as you
Yeah,
can
bro.
see, we've got some upgrades to the stream as well for your visual, entertainment
Delight,
basically. Yeah,
delight, yeah.
exactly. Which is good. So
You're
yeah,
gonna say pleasure, and you can't really say
No.
pleasure. Right? That's not.
pleasure. But yeah, so yeah, I'm Nafi. I'll be in the background and I'll be saying, "Oh wow, that's sick, great TP,"
Yeah.
stuff like that. Middlecott and
Yeah.
Tobin are the professionals here, so they're going to be doing all the talking. But yeah, if you haven't followed us, follow us on to Twitter at BroadNFriends. And yeah, we've got absolutely loads of content on there as well. Daily, pretty much, consistently at
Pretty
the minute.
much.
With
Well, whenever Trizzy can be asked.
Exactly.
Really.
Which is
yeah,
good.
daily.
Yeah.
Hands
Exactly.
on the grind.
Yeah. Once he
Um,
gets a job, like the org's fucked. Like.
exactly.
Our org is entirely dependent on his unemployment.
He's actually bankrolled by Joel at the moment, from what I've heard.
Stingy Joel.
The Broad Investment Fund is actually just going directly into Trizzy's bank account at the moment. I think potentially there are some financial schemes which are being investigated, both by senior members of the Broad team and by members of sort of Inland Revenue and
No,
Customs.
I've heard that internal investigations often yield the best results.
Yeah, no, because the issue with external investigations is that you can only really see things from the outside. And quite often you do need to sort of get involved in a more intimate level to understand what is going on, hence the efficiency of the internal investigations.
Mm.
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 Right,
Oh.
well.
I'm not gonna lie, lads. I've been a little bit AFK from the Broad Sports streams.
Yeah,
For a little bit.
disconnected.
How have the lads been playing? Has it been business as usual?
It's been all
And,
right. There has been a
yeah.
few points where we should be 5 here, and it's not really
Are we
very,
talking about
yeah.
Whitey?
Yeah, we are.
talking about
The
Whitey
Monday
wandering
match.
off in the middle of team fights.
The Monday match, I think, showed the Broad and Friends some new holes that they need to be looking into, trying to plug. Basically, some of the conclusions we reached is that when we win pretty hard, and we win pretty quick. But if we're not
Yeah.
winning, like, early, then we find it pretty difficult to actually claw back a game. Game against Vern, we did very well for quite a long time, but the game went on. We just lost control of the map, lost control of the game. We don't want that to become a trend, so.
No. And you're doing that against like Little Pants as well, which just feels infinitely worse. Listen to that guy, because he is a piece of work allegedly.
Yeah, this was the tweet that Brother Friends brought out after losing. I'm sorry, Miss Pop Sensation. I can't even say her name. Ariana Grande Broad lost. It's just brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, it was fantastic.
I do. You can't show that on Twitch, mate. You got to scroll past
Oh,
that. You
there's
can't
two
show
of
that
We
on
were zooming
Twitch.
in on that on Twitch on Monday.
Yeah, it was
You
enlarged.
should not be doing that. I made like a video. It wasn't of the Broad sister team Ready Painkiller. It was actually of like I guess like the niece, which is like the main
Right.
Ruddy team. I think that's how the familial sort of relationships
Right,
go.
draft has started.
Are they not the
Yeah,
big brother?
I need to start the big brother. Oh mate, that is unreal. Oh, we've got the fucking engagement.
We have. This is what I've been working on. Drafts are
That is
boring. What
unreal.
else do you need? You need this. This is just
I said it. I said it before. I'll say it again. It's a feast for the eyes.
No,
absolutely.
it is. It is. Is that like an infinite loop of like GTA?
Yes.
Because
More or
I've
less.
been
I
told
mean,
there's a draft happening.
A draft's
at the
not gonna.
moment.
The draft will be ending by the time it's over. If not, I'll just select another video in it.
It's just more of them, mate.
It could be Minecraft parkour next. You don't know, mate.
Oh, mate, that shit goes hard.
Exactly.
We're gonna get like an AI voice to read like stories from Reddit, like over the top of it as well.
We could do. Anything's
'Cause
possible.
I feel like at that point, like viewership goes to the moon, and Broadsport will be competing with the likes of TNT for rights to sort of other major broadcasts alongside the Broad and Friends games in UKEL Div 2.
Right. So let's talk about this draft. So they So they have picked. We've got the Nico pick here,
Yeah.
which is good. Varus.
Who's
Hopefully-
red side, blue side? I'm assuming the Lionesses is a blue side. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the LCL. Yeah. That's my bad there. Sorry.
It's absolutely fine, mate.
Nothing
Absolutely fine.
too adventurous from either team yet. Namely, on the Nico, we can only expect again. He wants it to become known as his staple. The ban, the global ban. People forgot.
They did.
We
But
don't
I
like that.
I don't think we should forget that Pia absolutely packed him off in laning phase. Last time that the Broads played against Lions Creed. So I think that is something that they
I
will
actually
need
got
to
some
consider.
secret intel where they were discussing banning Hui, based purely on the laning phase of the previous matchup between these two laners.
See, you can't be going into draft with those sorts of thoughts in your mind because that's just going to limit you.
Of course,
I think in
them
the
early
future.
picking a mid laner has completely ruined our draft prep because now we don't need to ban mids. So now we don't know.
Yeah.
I think we're making it up now.
No. Well, make it up on the fly is generally what everyone does on broadcast. So I think we're going to be fine. I do like that they've got in for the Diana for Triz. I think like the Gwen, whilst it has been a big carry and like whilst Lions Creed have respected it enough to ban out, I don't think it really is that big go button that you often need for the Broad and Friends. So I think it gives Triz the opportunity to carry, but it also gives him the opportunity to sort of get fights going as well.
I like this. I like having Trizzy as the shot caller, the initiator. We saw it a bit in the previous match with him on the Shyvana, but Shyvana is not quite the hard engage you want for certain team fights. It indicates that you're trying to fight, but it can't necessarily force that fight.
Yeah, descend from the sky, and you can't really do all that much. On the other side, though, Lions Creed, they have got a fair bit of mobility. As I'm genuinely very, very distracted at the moment by the GTA 5 race.
Oh, he's got the turbo car. Oh no!
It's just I just don't know. I just can't focus. I just can't focus. But there's a lot of pick here for LCL. There's a lot of disengage as well coming out of the Gragas. A lot of mobility too. So I think on the whole, obviously you need to be drafting into like an AD carry here. But honestly, you can go something relatively pick focus. You don't need to have a hard carry bot lane because you've got that additional carry coming out of the jungle in the form of the Viego.
I'm curious about these bans. It feels like they've done some research. Like the Gwen, the Kindred, the Camille, all very standard bans against Rod and Friends. But the Smolder ban catches me off guard. The Aatrox ban even more so. Anyone who's spoken to Gov in his life knows that he hates that champion and does not really want to play it.
Yeah, well, I think we are potentially leaking a little bit of information on the stream here, Tobin. Maybe not necessary. For all the conversations I've had with Governor, he has actually just messaged me like a clip of him crying because they banned his Aatrox out. So I think there's a range of information.
I'm loading up his OPGG. Oh yeah, he's got 100 games on Aatrox in the last 7 days. There we go.
Yeah, no, his dedication to that champion is incredible. Obviously, it's not an OPGG that you'd find on any sort of like LoL process. It's a secret account. There's a barcode going on, but obviously there are a lot of barcode accounts in high GM, so you can't really work out which one it is and which one isn't.
So we see the bot lane picked in. Jin Rel. Lots of engage, lots of kill potential. Do we
But
think we're going to be seeing, like Rel Viego kind of
yeah,
kill
two
squad?
fundamentally like useless champions though, if you play them badly, which I think it can be applied to most champions within the League of Legends here. But again, it's kind of what we expected, right? This is a top side that can get a lot of things going. You don't need a bot lane that's going to be super active. The Jhin is there mostly going to be acting as setup. He's going to have a tough time getting through something like the Renekton and getting through something like the Nautilus. So it's all about him providing utility with his ult, slows with his traps, the snares, and roots that he can do. And then the Rel is going to be that sort of big team fight engager. The Lions Creed Lionesses were sort of lacking to an extent. They have a load of pick and Gragas can cause some disruption, but Rel is the only real champion here that can properly lock people down for a decent number of seconds.
I feel like looking at these two comps now, I feel like in terms of the team fight synergy, Broad and Friends have the advantage. The Diana, the Nico, they're big. They've both got big circles. They both line up very nicely with Varus and Varus ult, Nautilus ult to compensate to add to that. But I'm looking at the other side. Rel and Gragas, if they were to fire their ults at the same target, that's not going to end well for that team.
No, it won't. And I've got this like lovely picture in my head of like the Gragas ult with the Viego as well, where Gragas just like ults right onto the target that Viego wants to ult as well, and just like completely knocks everyone away. So I think there is a burden of execution here for Lions Creed, Lionesses. I think Broad and Friends don't necessarily have as high one. Like if you go in with the Nico, with the Diana, with the Nautilus, with the Varus, you can pretty much just throw your buttons onto whoever you want there. And there is such an easy and consistent lockdown chain that you are most likely going to be getting the first kill in that fight. And I think that this game, in terms of the team fights, is going to heavily depend on who gets the first kill in those fights. Because if it's Broad and Friends, then you're likely removing a relatively decent-sized threat away from Lions Creed. Something like the Viego or the Ari or the Gragas, most likely. But if you're Lions Creed, that first kill is a reset for Viego, it's a reset for the Ari, and that could spell very, very bad news for Broad and Friends.
Now it's time for LOL.
Here we go.
While
Yes!
we go in. So they've all locked in their champions. Well, nearly got 20 seconds left on the clock in the champion select. So what do you want to do first? Do you want to do the top to bottom?
I'm moving away from Twitch chat here. I'm not cheating like last time.
I think we do top to bottom.
Okay. So guess today's League of Legends champion. Type anyone's want. Well, I mean it's got to be Gnar first. Gnar.
You know what? That's exactly what you said last time.
Yeah, it's the rule of thumb.
Here we go. So look, we're
feel
ruling
like
a lot of things out here. Good, good.
So female champion. I mean, we could go something like Annie, maybe. No, Annie's too old. Ari.
Should we go for Ari?
Annie's too old, but Ari's okay.
No, isn't like the date that the champion was released. Oh wait, hold on.
Well, they're both champions from the start of the game.
Well, I don't. Wait, were they? Was Ari one of the original?
I think so.
Nah, that is unreal. Actually, she feels like a 2015 champion. Wait, I was playing in 2015.
Well, she's a 2011 champion. We can see that right on the screen. All right.
Maybe it is Annie.
No.
Wait, no, she's not a mid
laner. Yeah.
And she's not ranged. Female melee champion.
Oh, and it's melee.
Female melee champion that
Samira
uses
considered...
mana.
Oh no, it's 2011. Okay, it's a really old champion.
Yeah, so it's not going to be Katarina.
No, it has to be melee.
Yeah.
At least it's melee. She has a melee form.
Yeah, but her base form isn't. I think that's what it's going to go off of.
I'm just gonna.
It'll show both options because it's done the same for Gnar.
Right.
So.
Well, it could be Kale. No, but she's played top.
Yeah, and again, it's like the range thing. So what? So it's an AD. It's not an AD carry. So it's a female support that uses mana, and is melee.
Real.
It's not.
Yeah,
but it's like old. But it's
came out in 2011.
Yeah. So, but Leona was released way after 2011, and I don't think there are any other.
Isn't...
Blitzcrank isn't
female.
Oh, yeah, no, Blitzcrank is not female. No, that is a big one.
We've got 1 minute.
I mean, just like throw Leona out there. Maybe it'll like confirm some shit. I don't know. Like
I'm happy with Leona.
I can't think any champions. There's no way she was 2011, was she?
There we
What?
go. We did it, boys.
We did it. Okay.
Right.
Quick.
Quickly, we'll do the splash.
Oh,
that was the splash.
oh,
cue.
those are the clues. Those are the clues. Oh, that is set.
Gideon Dragon set, I think.
Yeah.
Set.
And yeah,
Yeah,
Obsidian
there
Dragon.
we go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool stuff. Now we are going to go and move over to the actual game.
Yeah. Broad
let's
sport.
just There we
Broad
go.
sport.
Oh god, it's actually...
The game is way too big.
Yeah, bear with me.
Don't exit the game.
What we need here, Nathan, is for you to not crash because none of us are tuned to the game other than you.
There we go.
Yeah.
Are we all lined up?
Yeah.
We're all lined up. Lovely. And then it was what?
It's you and I.
Scoreboard.
Just don't. Oh, what have you done?
What do you mean?
Right. Right. Yeah. You. Press O. No, press U and O. Sorry, and that'll sort out the thing. Yeah. You want the blue team. You want the blue team frames or the red team frames up again?
Oh right.
Yeah, and then objective timer as well.
Objective timers, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then it's
Minimap scale.
control. Yeah, I mean if it's the overlay, so it's fine. You might need to make it a little bit bigger, but it's like whatever. And then you just scroll out and we're chill. PogChamp.
We're chilling.
What's the?
Yeah.
What was it? You, wasn't it? There we go. Okay. Here we go.
The Brods are back in town.
The Brods are going to war.
Yeah. And when two Brods go to war, war is all that you can score.
When two Brods love each other very much.
That is probably not safe for Twitch, actually, what you are describing there. Well, I think we'll make do with it.
It's platonic.
Platonic Brod love. I can see that. Bit of an early stat there from the Brods in the Brod lane, recently renamed to the Brod lane in honor of the Brods. An early ward is going to spot them out, and the Lioness is responding with a ward on Trizzy's red buff, so trying to scout out where the Brod jungler is going to be, getting the early pathing going.
I like this. I like the opportunity they've used to get some information. It looks like Trizzy is actually heading to his red, so they might have information of his jungle at least clear. So they'll have information about where he's going to be in the first few minutes of the game.
It's not necessarily the biggest thing, because I don't think of Diana as like a champion that wants to be getting a load of ganks going in the early game. Very Trizzy-esque in the way that the champion will just farm up to level 6 and then start actually impacting the map. But obviously it means if there is going to be any overextensions on lanes, then the Lionesses are going to be aware of that. It's just going to be a Raptor start instead for Trizzy. Obviously with the Diana, you've got an AoE, so you clear through that camp pretty quickly.
Yeah, same as something like a Kayn. I do think the ward still would have spotted as they were kind of walking around that red buff. They can see him now on the red.
Yeah.
They do have that information. It's difficult to use that kind of information at this early in the game. But I suppose the bot lane knows it's safe, at least for a couple of minutes, if they want to try a really early push, which I'm not sure they can even do with their lane.
They're getting bullied out a little bit there. And I think the bot lane is a good destination for both these junglers, because there is a significant amount of CEC available. Obviously a bit more for the Lionesses, because you do have the Jhin who has access to that route pre-6, but post-6 I think Whitey is going to have a load of options available to him with a Chains of Corruption on Varus.
Yeah, so we see the push coming in. Level 2 advantage. Broad and Friends are going to get that level very soon. Both teams know, let's save some junglers like this so they can safely push in. Looking at the other lanes, we see Broad and Friends push on the top side. Renekton gaining that push. Pushing a lot of mana out of the Gragas, actually. We'll have to see how that works out in the coming minutes.
And Gragas is always a weird one, because I think that the more efficient that you can be with your mana in the early game, the significantly better the champion just operates. And there is going to be a lot of, I guess a lot of draw to using your spells on the wave, because it's kind of just what Gragas does in terms of neutralizing those early lane states, but because you are against a Renekton who can kind of just clear every wave for free with his lack of mana, then you get into this sticky situation where you can't really contest on the wave, you can't heal up from your passive, and you have to take these early resets that aren't really going to get you too much.
So he has managed to get himself a tier, both top laners recalling and then teleporting back in. The tier, I think, is going to help him, considering the mana is already proving to be a bit of a problem. And then we'll have to see how this lane plays out. It looks like Garb is going to keep staying on that push top side. Big trade in the bot lane from Mighty there. I think he's trying to push them out of the lane, or at least force them under tower to get a reset himself.
And this is something that I think a lot of people can disrespect about Varus, is just how much damage you can do in the early game with 3 stacks of the Blight into your execute Q. When you activate your W, you get an execute on your Q. And that really, really hurts people. And the thing about trading with Jhin is it's all about how many bullets you've got left in the chamber. If you're starting a trade on Jhin where you've got 2 bullets left, then oftentimes you're just going to be losing because you lack the raw firepower of other AD carries.
Jhin's always a tricky one, isn't it? Because you really have to kind of time that trade on your bullet count. However many bullets you have, that is the length that you want that trade to be. Which can make difficult timings, especially for the support or whoever is fighting there with you.
Yeah, nice movement there from Charlotte, just recognizing that Snuggly is going to be looking for an engage, and she doesn't want anyone jumping onto Deja Vu, because that would be bad news bears for the Jhin. Very, very immobile, as Gertrude has found herself in a bit more of a decent position in terms of the top lane, in terms of that HP bar. But once again, very, very low on mana, and with Gander pathing away, it's not like she's going to have any help from her jungler anytime soon.
Low on mana, low on CS as well, I would point out. 2 waves behind now at 5 minutes in. We're going to have to see if that just continues to grow in terms of the CS deficit between the 2 laners.
Ooh, I think something very, 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 very cool I think we just spotted there. I'm not sure if we saw it on the minimap, but Trizzy actually used the fact that Diana is one of these junglers that has access to a dash to get into the Void Grub pit without Lions Creed Lionesses actually spotting him out. So they are going to get that global notification now, but they didn't know that Trizzy was on those grubs until they'd all been taken down, dodging away from the Scuttle Crab vision. Just nice adaptation from the Prod jungler.
So have you seen, this is something I've heard of, but I haven't really actually witnessed in game. Apparently ranged junglers can just take a grub over the wall.
I keep hearing this, but I've not seen it in action for myself, unfortunately.
I'm starting to call BS on that one. I want to see it. I want to see some living proof.
Yeah, the Caitlyn jungle is going a little bit crazy. Snuggly dropping the hook onto Charlotte, who stuns a couple of minions, not the priority targets there. And again, Whitey with this Q just does so much damage coming out from the Varus. Gander is in the area. Deja Vu low on mana and Charlotte low on HP.
Trizzy in the Dragon Pit as well, so this could turn into a 3v3 if the bot lanes get feisty.
Snuggly walking up to that tri-bush, dodges away from the Q, flashes over the wall, needed to spend that summoner spell. Obviously with the Hex Flash on the Nautilus, you're not going to get punished as hard for that, but still, it's something that Lions Creed Lionesses could play towards in the next few minutes.
Lions Creed wanted something there. The Ahri actually started moving down, now level 6 with access to the ult. Very powerful in the roaming situations. They wanted to try and make something happen with that fight. Snuggly being very respectful for the summoner, potentially saving them from a 2v4 disaster scenario.
You really don't want that going down, as once again aggressive trades, and once again Gertrude really not doing well in terms of the mana, and that CS lead that you referred to a little bit earlier, Tobin, has just built up even further for the Brod and Friends top laner. And despite the fact that we haven't had any kills going down, we've already got around about a 1,000 gold lead in favor of the Brod and Friends, not to mention the Void Grubs and that Dragon.
Well, yeah, just a monopoly on the objective so far this game, and with priority in at least 2 of 3 lanes. We haven't seen much about the mid lane, but CS is going even, but top and bot having complete control of their lanes from what we've seen.
Yeah, I think we're expecting the skirmishes to really be favouring Brod. We've got that level 6 mark for Trizzy. He's got the blasting one that he's oh so fond of in his inventory. Might need to take her back relatively soon because he hasn't returned to base in a little while. But on second spawn of Grubs, on second spawn of Dragon, I think that Brod and Friends are going to be in a really excellent position to force something.
So we're talking about all these excellent positions Brod and Friends can find them in. What is Lions Creed looking for here? Are they looking for an early fight? Are they looking to just try and survive with these sorts of champions?
It's a difficult one because I think you are going to be looking for picks around mid lane with the Viego and with the Ahri. But I think the issue is that we're sort of seeing rectified a little bit here is they've just never had the aggressive position to go and bother Trizzy in his jungle and use their priority to make his life worse. As we're sort of saying that, we are starting to see it come to fruition. Gander has the movement through. Nemli also around here, and the bot lane could just get here a little bit quicker from the Lionesses. They pull the trigger immediately. Snuggly is on top of them though, but it's already first blood in favor of the Lionesses, and they get 2 more before one's got back in reply. Whitey's going to get stunned. The curtain's called, and that's 4 kills for the Lionesses in the bot side jungle.
That turned from good to very bad to even worse in a matter of seconds. The collapse from Lionesses was there. They had the mid lane priority. Ahri was in position. Nico trying to fight to get in position. It looked good. The Nico ult landed. The Diana ult landed. But there was just more damage coming out from the Lionesses in that early fight.
Yeah, they just brought more members to the party. And yeah, Tobin, you're asking what they want to be doing. It's exactly that. Playing with priority.
Honestly.
But moving into the enemy jungle and ruining Trizzy's day. Now, Brod are going to have to do what they've kind of struggled with it several times throughout this split and make a recovery from a down position. Your mid lane is just not going to be able to get priority anymore. Pia has already got the Malignants here on the Ahri, and we've got a little bit of an itemization lead in the jungle as well. So the fact that Brod behind them, even able to pick up these grubs is quite tremendous. But Whitey burnt the flash in the previous engagement, and Deja Vu and Charlotte take full advantage of the Varus for the Lioness's 5th kill of the game.
I don't know if they just lost track of the rel, if they didn't respect it. They didn't have vision on that tri-brush, and it's just so easy for her to walk around in that scenario. Varus with no summoners, no nothing really, no ult, no way of disengaging.
And the issue now is, oh, okay, Brod, great, you've gotten all 6 grubs, but if you look at the way that the lanes have been going, it's not really like you've been in a position to gain anything with those. What these early grubs are great for is getting onto these towers, taking down early tower plates and following more gold into you. But Whitey's just trying to return to lane, but he will not be allowed to. It's a 3rd death for the Brod and Friends AD carry, and I think Lions Creed unlucky not to get another one with that charm going millimeters wide from Pia.
The Ahri in position again, this mid lane priority paying dividends. Not that it really did much in that particular kill, but it's just been complete control of this blue side jungle now, with Brod and Friends jungle. The bot lane has become a dangerous place to be, as Whitey is very quickly finding out.
Yeah, and Gov is still doing absolutely great on top lane, extending his lead even further, but I don't think the Renekton is going to have the capacity to carry in this situation. If he gets onto the backline, it's absolutely great, but Gander and Pia are going to be diving forward onto the squishy members of the Brod and Friends, so I could very much imagine a scenario where, yeah, Gov might get 1 or 2 kills on the backline, but then he's going to have to deal with this super fed Viego, this super fed Ahri, and I'm not sure if he's got the tools to do that. Trizzy going for a very aggressive engage in the enemy jungle, a little bit on his lonesome. Snuggly is going to be coming over here, but I'm not sure if it's in time to flashback away and hit by the bullets. Brod and Friends pull the trigger, but they get shot in the face. Nemli with the 3-man ult is going to get something back, but Gertrude comes down, teleports, joins her team, and it's nearly another quadra kill for the Lionesses, as it's just about an escape secured by Nemli having to burn the flash.
A very brave fight in the enemy jungle, with Dragon up, with bot lane heavily down and mid lane. You've got to think that you're gonna get in and get out with that, but the kill took so long with Trizzy on his own.
I completely agree with you there, Nathan. And okay, this is more time for Gov to build up this individual lead, and if he can get this first tower pre-14 minutes, then there's an angle there for the Brod and Friends. But honestly, it felt like they were just getting a little bit impatient, wanted to make something happen in the game and weren't able to execute on it. We've got an attempt on the Dragon started up by them, but here comes the teleport. Whitey just walks directly into the Viego. No. What on earth are you doing, my guy? And I'm getting deja vu all over again. The steal comes through from Gander, and Trizzy dashes but can't get out. Gov joins the fight. He's able to get one, but now he has to face down this super fed Lionesses squad. Snuggly getting the stun, but still going to get taken down. The charm connecting onto the Renekton. Gov with full fury, but with nothing to do with it. Has to double dash, has to flash away, but still can't escape from Peter. Gertrude the pony will help out the squad, and it's a 5th kill for the Ari. The Lionesses are roaring in the early game.
Oh, it's a rough one to be on the BNF stream, but here we all are nonetheless. This game is slipping away quicker and quicker. I think this is just a result of the fight in the jungle. Lionesses responding quicker, getting in position quicker. They have the TP advantage. Well, not necessarily the advantage. They're more on the ball. They're channeling their TPs far sooner. The Renekton TP, I think, could have been a good stabilizer, but it came in far too late. I think 1 or 2 members were already down by the time he even started.
You've got to be asking questions of Whitey's positioning there. Like, a few of the deaths in the early stages, I don't think we could really attribute to him, but he did walk directly into Gander there. And I am not a very good AD carry player, but I know that that's not what you want to be doing.
No, I'm not one to judge, but 1 and 5 is not the scoreline you want at this state of the game.
Interesting to see a little bit of a lane swap initiated here by the Brods. I think that this is maybe Gov just going, hold on, I actually think that I can dash through, Q, clear the wave and get away, because I think if Nemly is ever in a position where he's getting hit by a charm from Selfish, then he is just dying. It's not been a bad game from Nemly by any stretch of the imagination. His ults in these fights have been pretty decent, but it's always been Pia getting the first roam, and it's always been her picking up the kills.
It does just feel like there's a bit of a macro difference going on right now in terms of the response times and in terms of just how these fights are being played out. And now the gold advantage has grown. It's about 3.5k right now. That's pretty significant for 14 minutes in. We now see the Herald. I believe Diana's on it.
And I think this may be the saving grace of Rod, is because Trizzy has like these incredibly fast clear times. He does burn through these neutral objectives, and if there are no members of the Lionesses there, then this is a route back into the game for Brod. It's a 3.5k gold lead, like you said, but that's definitely not unrecoverable at this stage.
Honestly, well played to get the jungle objectives. It does feel like this state of the game, Lionesses could have complete control of the jungle if they wanted to. If they wanted to move their bot lane into that top river, the Herald would have been theirs just through sheer intimidation, I feel. But Rod and friends, they spot the window, they get their objective and they get out. It now being dropped in the top lane. We'll see what they can do with this. There's 2 of them pushing in. They're finally punishing this Gragas. Flash out early. And they just want to get this charge.
Issue is Gertrude's now got that Rod of Ages, so a lot of base HP to burn through, and it's not like the Brods have really got strong, consistent damage to deal with that. Trizzy has now got that Nash's Tooth, but I'm not sure if you're going to be able to take down the Gragas. It is going to be a second tower taken in the top lane, so a positive trade for the Brods, and this is good from them, right? You want to be playing away from Lion's Creed right now and executing macro moves that are just gold positive for you, because fighting them is not gold positive for you at all.
Yeah, you kind of have to be looking for the plays that don't involve the other players at this point in the game, which is very much to do with the jungle camps. So well played to Trizzy. Are they going to look for something mid lane? They want this tower. It's half health. With Governor already having the ult active, they don't really want to run into the empowered Renekton. They're gonna back off, see what else they can find on the map.
Yeah, and Nemly does have the TP. If he were to, I can't actually see him on the minimap at the moment. I'm not sure where he.
Oh, he's disguised, isn't he? He's fooled you.
Oh my god, he's fooled me! He's fooled the Lionesses! And he's gotten a second kill for the Governor. Gotta be careful here. Hook connecting onto Gertrude, and one of the friends are playing with fire at this point. They've stood a little bit too close, and Snuggly is very, very lucky to escape with his life there. But I guess that's what you need to do. Either you play away from the Lionesses, or you pretend that you're not even there and punish them when they go forward.
Honestly, that was almost scripted. The timing of that minion ult from the Nico was wonderful. They finally find a favourable fight, killing the Jhin, getting a bounty. It's all good stuff, and they managed to get out. Was it a 1-for-1? And I think in the end,
I think it was a 1-for-0 actually.
1-for-0. They all got out. It was a lot of low health bars from Prod and Friends, but they all managed to get away. The Ari almost doing large amounts of work on the tail end of the fight, dashing in with the ult, running a queue back and forth through I think 3 members. And the Ignite going out from the support, but We get away. We get away with murder there.
Just about. And I don't want to call it a comeback, but a gold lead has been reduced by a significant amount. And hey, there are still a couple of those shutdowns for the Brods to claim. If you could take down Gander at some point, if you could take down Pia, then you've basically evened up the game. And that early Drake take, I think, is going to be really important for the Brods, because it means that this isn't sole point for Lions Creed Lionesses, that there is that time for them to recover, and then resting control of the mid lane for the moment. They might be looking for a bit of a push here, but that tower is still so damn tanky. I think they've got to back away.
Yeah, outnumbered, outgunned, potentially outpositioned if they wanted to try and overstay. They recognise that, they get out of dodge, moving back into the topside river. You're right, well, about this gold difference, though. Only 1.7, 1.6, something like that, which is not huge when you look at the kills. And I think that is largely to do with the jungle priority that Trizzy found himself in the early game. So many objectives taken so early on, really paying off for them here and not falling too far behind.
And I guess that's what the Diana can offer as well with these 6 Void Grubs, is that she is going to be an incredibly scary split push threat. Just absolutely melts through those towers, and I suppose a good thing for the Prods is those aren't actually objective bounties yet, so despite that 9-kill discrepancy, it's not as bad as it could have been. Trizzy now
what's about to happen?
Play onto Piri, is going to get charmed, interrupting the dash, and not hit by the return on that Q. Gander is in the area. We could potentially have a 2v2 in the bot lane.
It's brave for Trizzy to look for that kill. You look at the scoreline of the Ahri, 5-0-4. And then Trizzy 0-3-3. He's had a good game by all means, but the Ahri's having a very good game. And to try and take a 1v1, Diana is favoured in those fights, but when the gold is as different as it is, you've got to be careful with it.
Yeah, and I think Pia has really shown herself to be a player that is absolutely on the ball and on the money most of the time. Although things have slowed down a little bit for the Lionesses, I am worried for them as to how they are going to be translating this game once it gets a little bit later, because it is a very shotgun-based composition. If you aren't able to get that first kill, then you do end up losing in these team fights. And YT, who was down pretty significantly, is still down, but on hit Varus, you are going to scale up, and once you hit that 2-item, 3-item point, you can melt through people. Lions Creed Lionesses, with more members in the mid lane, are going to be able to take the tower in trade for the bot lane one that the Brods took a moment ago.
I think they've wanted that mid lane tower for a little while now. It opens up the map, especially as we start approaching the mid game. More important objectives starting to become available to them. They want that flexibility to roam around the map, cut off the vision. Easier to gain the mid lane push. Good stuff. But you're right, the game has slowed. The kills still pretty different, but Lions Creed aren't really making full advantage of it, are they? They're not. I mean, they tried the fight in the mid lane, didn't really work out. And I think as the game progresses, I think Rod and Friends stand a greater and greater chance in these kind of bigger scale fights.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to take care for the meantime, though, because we've got 2 items on Gander, 2 items on Pia, 2 items on Deja Vu as well, who's pretty close to a third with the Zeal in her inventory. And Brod are still playing catch-up for the time being. I think we can talk until the cows come home about how Brod are getting back into this game, but they are still playing with a deficit as it stands. So we need a few more of those intelligent plays where they catch the Lionesses off guard and find them in positions where they don't necessarily want to be, as
we see a collapse in the top lane.
Emily. It's difficult to dive onto an eco with the CC she could provide going forward, but actually isn't going to hit anyone, and the Lionesses re-engage beautifully. That was a perfectly executed tower dive versus the Ganeko.
That was wonderful. Quite a lot expended, 2 flashes from Lions Creed, but this is them making the plays we were talking about moments ago. They're finally doing something with this lead. They're pushing advantages, they're killing the mid lane, and now taking that top turret. They're finally breaking this game open a little bit more.
Yeah, Brod still trying to respond on the other side though. Triz
teleport.
And a bit of a tough time taking down Gertrude. Has to flash away from the cask as Charlotte is rotating through from the mid lane. Pia popping the ultimate as well.
Oh, they
as
want
that
it.
Blast Cone is going to be able to get on top
running.
of Trizzy. He is just dancing himself away with those dashes. Gets away from Gertrude.
He's going to try and hit the turret.
He's even going to get the tower out of this equation. 730 gold secured for the Brod and Friends jungler, as he's actually doing a fair bit of damage down onto this Gragas. Eventually the CC comes through, and the 4th shot will be channeled by Deja Vu and claim the kill. So RIP to Trizzy, but it's Brod and Friends getting some gold back for themselves.
It's another objective taken, another tower. It really justifies that play. I mean, when a team is behind, the value of the kill just isn't that high compared to a turret. So I think you could say that was almost advantageous to Brodden Friends. That exchange.
If you said that whilst other people are in the call, you'd get absolutely skimmed for that. By the way,
it's a tricky word. I have no shame.
Advantageous, yeah.
Well, when you say it, all right.
I would say I've got at least a 98%.
We can all first time it after hearing the word said. All right.
It's actually the first time I've ever heard that word used, and I've already picked it up. So.
Oh, well, you're just a quick learner, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, no, I am. I've often been told that. Dragon
we
hitting
see them
the rift
establishing control.
It could be advantageous here.
Well, I would say it almost certainly is.
This is interesting, though. Actually, a TP in from the Govern.
Baron Rush.
Brod's recognizing that the Lionesses are going to be on the Dragon. They've already peeled away as Gertrude channels the TP.
But they're taking the dragon. They're taking the dragon in the bot side river. They're winning on both sides.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was entirely necessary though from Gertrude to TP there. I feel like the Brods are already peeling away, but yeah, that is ultimately going to be a winning play for the Lionesses. And Charlotte and Gertrude have even been able to sort of secure themselves a little bit of mid lane priority. So first shove going to be gained for the Lionesses, and Brodden Friends having to play response, having to play catch up, which is situation that they've been in for most of this game, but it's not one that is really sustainable once you get into these later stages. Soul now going to be something that the Lionesses can play towards in the next few minutes, and whilst their composition doesn't have the best Baron damage, if they get a pick or two, they can absolutely nuke down that objective as well.
Absolutely, and as you say, Soul now becoming a more and more real threat for Brodden Friends. The Mountain Soul as well. We've got Assassins on Brodden Friends. The Mountain Soul shield, were they to get it, is going to be a real problem in trying to kill some of those key targets. And they've got 2 tanks as well, benefiting from the stacking resistances of the Mountain Dragons. It's very beneficial for Lion's Creed to keep priority on these dragons. And whilst deterring them from Baron as well, I think I agree that the teleport from the Gragas, probably unnecessary, but I think they were just trying to play it safe. You don't know, Brodden Friends might have just all in for it.
they do go for some crazy plays every so often, the Prod. So credit to Gertrude, right? She had a really rough time in that laning phase, but she's performed Gragas duty, right? She's prevented Gov from getting a lead, which is so big that he can completely snowball and control the game, and she's going to be able to offer a load of utility in these later team fights. Already seeing the damage potential from Pia there. The Ahri, not a super high DPS pick when you are just hitting someone with a basic combo. You really do need to be investing that ultimate if you're going to 100-0 someone.
Yeah, that little trade she took on the Renekton. I don't think a full showcase of her current damage picking onto the tankiest target on the enemy team. But do not be fooled, this Ahri is very strong. Especially with the Shadow Flame Rush second. It's more the low health targets that she's going to be hitting. Baron being hit, I'm not sure if it was deliberate, but they're posturing around topside river, killing the crab, establishing vision control.
Again, we're talking about the reset-based composition. If you are getting people alone, you've got bonus damage in that situation. That's pretty much perfect for you. Trizzy pushing alone in the topside and might be getting called out here by multiple members of... No way.
They don't.
No way. Is he just alcove gamed out of that situation?
Alcove gaming.
Oh my god.
Oh wait, he's not recalling.
He's just saying that.
He's
I mean, he's
there.
setting up for
he
a
doesn't know that they don't know.
Pick. No, I think he knows that they don't know, and if he can come from behind here, he could get something going. I mean, for all the kills,
we see movement from Brodden Friends. Nautilus walking up. I think this is a collapse.
Oh, here comes the blue ward. Here, she is going to be able to dash through, but straight into Trizzy, the dash forward, but it's matched by the Diana. Snugly flashing, but missing on the hook. That was 400. Well, more than 400. That's just not one of the numbers that's on the screen right now. No. Come on, fuck off.
The idea was 10 out of 10.
The idea, I was going for
was
four,
somewhere around the 5 mark.
4-digit big ones, you know, because it would be 1,000. Because I thought she had a 700 gold bounty, and then the 300 gold from the kill. So I thought it was going to be 4-digit stacks coming through.
You were working up to it.
I was working up to it, and then I just
look at Nemly here. It's a collapse. Alcove Gaming is not working this time.
It's not working out. It's not working out. But look at the Brods. They are straight back onto this Baron. This almost feels like a little bit of a desperation play, because Pia is in the area, Gander's in the area, Gertrude is going to have that teleport very, very soon, but it's resets from the other members. of the Lionesses, and Charlotte is not going to be here in
Baron at
time.
2K.
It's going to be a smite fight, but it's won by Brod and friends. They deny the engagement. The charm goes wide from High Star Fish
Re-engage.
as they
Ari in
go
the middle.
forward in a 2v4, and that's not what you want to be doing against the 4-digit LP mastermind Trizzy Mizzy. Now it's all about getting away for the Brod and friends. Charlotte dropping the Magnet Storm,
Oh, no.
but it is sunny skies for Brod. The curtain call. But Brod and friends escape with the Baron buff. They've got to get back onto the map ASAP, though, because that Mountain Soul is about to spawn.
Wow, what a response from Brod and friends there. They saw the situation, 3 bot side. They said, we can do this, Baron. We have the DPS. Diana just repeatedly hitting it. And while the Lions Creed knew it was happening, they couldn't really do much. Then they tried taking the fight. They wanted to punish it. But I think Ari ulting in to a Nautilus melee range is never going to end well.
Completely agree, and that's going to propel Trizzy towards his third item now. Charlotte getting caught
Lot of
out in the mid
damage.
lane. Brod not able to chase too much further. This tower still standing for Lions Creed, is providing them so much safety, and Brod and friends, they are going to be able to get their priority. They are going to be able to move into the river first and start up the dragon. It doesn't look like the Lionesses are going to be contesting.
Wow, okay, so this is great for Brod and friends, converting that Baron into a Dragon Taken, removing that threat of the Mountain Soul at least for another 5 minutes. This is excellent for them. Stalling out this game, which I think benefits them. If I'm looking at the scaling of both sides, I feel like the longer it goes, assuming they're not giving up things like Soul, does favour them.
I have to think. They are in a little bit of a weird situation, though, as Gertrude looking for a play
Ooh,
on
the
the
ult
snuggie. He's
used.
going to be able to knock him into the wall. The depth charge used by response from the Nautilus. They're only going to come here with the ultimate, only hitting it onto 2. And Brod and friends are outnumbered in this fight. The first kill goes to Lions Creed.
Nautilus
and
hook.
that means the
Oh.
second kill is going to go to Lions Creed. Nemly drops into the Zhonya's, but drops down for a double. Whitey needs to be very careful here. Is not going to get hit
Look
by
at
the
this
root.
side
But look
lane
at the
push.
bot lane. They're just pushing with the Baron. Trizzy and Gov have the damage to take down these objectives. And I think whilst we were looking at the early game being macro-focused from Lions Creed in terms of the way that they were able to engineer these skirmishes, the way that the Broads have been playing the map post 25 minutes has been a cut above.
It does feel like the map plays are now going in the favour of Brod and friends. The 2-man push on bot lane, I really like it. Obviously, the typical split push 1 member, it can work, but you're just so vulnerable. But with a Renekton as strong as this and a Diana, Lions Creed just don't want to take that fight. They just have to concede as much as Brod and friends want to push. And in this case, it is an inhibitor taken, which is an excellent reward for them.
Yeah, still behind in the gold, though, but that's going to matter less and less as the game goes on, right? The difference between 20 quid and 30 quid in your bank account when it's just that 20 quid and 30 quid is pretty significant. But if you're walking up to the club with 5 stacks in your wallet, then you don't really
Trizzy going
mind.
in.
Trizzy going for an engagement. Not too much follow-up from the brothers. He is going to have to flash away. Gov popping the Dominus as
no.
Trizzy is going onto the back line and sacrificing himself. Not quite able to kill off Deja Vu. That's been a couple times that we've seen Trizzy get a little bit over-aggressive potentially, but there's no objectives on the map that Lions Creed are going to be able to take away.
It's fortunate that that as you say, there's no objectives. That's very punishable from Trizzy there. So much burnt. The Zhonya's, the flash, the ult. And he almost got the Jhin, in fairness to him, through sheer just damage that he can inflict in a short amount of time. But now we have to see what Lions Creed can do with their with the enemy jungler down. And in upcoming fights, Brod and friends have to bear in mind that their go button is significantly worse than it was a few moments ago.
Still got a couple of minutes until the Baron spawns. Still a couple of minutes until Dragons hit the rift. So the ultimate is going to be available, but being down that flash on the Diana is massive for your play-making potential. Still got that combo, though, from Brod that is almost undeniable, of the depth charge, of the Chains of Corruption, of whatever Nico's ultimate is called. There's a lot that they can get done here, especially once Nemly and Trizzy hit over to level 16.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how these next few minutes play out. Just lots of waves being cleared right now. with the bot lane inhibitor gone, Lions Creed do have to pay extra attention to that lane. Always keep on top of it, have a member down there. We'll see what happens. Mid lane tower being looked at. Remarkable that it's still up for this long in the game.
Finally taken down after 32 long minutes as Rob positioning for the priority. Hovering towards the top side as Baron is going to be spawning relatively soon. Snuggling needs to be careful that he doesn't get caught out
Teleport
here.
being channeled.
That's
She's
a
on her
TP
own.
behind from Pia. They could just jump instantly on top of the Ahri. A little bit of a suicide mission from her into the back line. And it is paid for significantly as Snuggly is going to be sacrificed on the front side. But I'm going to be trading a Nautilus for an Ahri every day of the week, especially when my mid laner can do shit like that. Look at though, it's a double kill for Gander, but she's going to have to play defensive. She just can't get through the governor. Here comes Trizzy going back onto the other side, and the Lionesses are winning on the fight, even without the Ahri. This Viego is absolutely immense, and the Broad and friends are wiped off the map.
That could have been so good.
Gertrude, why have you just TP'd?
Wow, look at those minions, man.
Well,
that could have been so good for Broad and Friends. The RETP, it was too aggressive. The idea was good, but there's 5 members stood on that bush. The fact that she survived as long as she did was pretty remarkable.
Why did she just TP though?
Like, it's really flummoxed you, that one, isn't it?
No,
they don't want that turret dying, alright? They need it.
It's like I think
if that turret goes, the team around's gone.
I think if Gragas stays, you could do this Baron faster. You can rotate towards the dragon.
They've got the Baron. They know they're just messing around.
I think we do need to take care though, because it is double TP available for the Broad solo laners when they respawn. So I don't think that Lions Creed are going to be able to take this dragon without having to fight up against Broad. But of course, if you are able to take down this dragon with the Baron buff and most likely a winning fight that will ensue after it, it could be curtains for Broad and friends. So this fight would need to be played at an absolute knife's edge. Of course, you can give this up. It is a load of power going over, but massively losing a fight at this stage in the game. Whitey has just joined the Discord call, which could be bad news for us as Broad go for one last gasp, but they don't get the Baron. Trizzy is going to get caught out with the root and shoved up and taken out. It's a double kill for Pia. And it is absolutely disaster for the Broad and friends. Governor, the only one left standing as Pia walks out with a triple. And those death times are long enough that the Lionesses can push through for the end.
It looks like the march. I didn't even get a chance to talk about how fights at this point in the game can be so punishing and Broad and friends are going to have to play it out. But the Dragon started, the fight lost. And now it looks like they're marching on that Nexus. Turret is trying to kill this Ahri, got pretty close, but there we go. Nexus going down. Well played to Lions Creed.
Great, you've just got the stream copyright strike, Nathan.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Yeah, great.
I hope you feel bad about it.
That is the worst thing that's happened on this stream today.
Oh, no, really?
Oh, that was...
Now the VOD gets deleted. Oh.
Yeah, that was... Honestly, that was a little bit heartbreaking.
Shocking.
That was a little bit heartbreaking. That was a close game for Broad in many aspects, just not in terms of the aspects of winning, unfortunately.
Winning was something that we did not succeed at.
They weren't as close to winning as they would have liked. It's again, I wake up every day and I come on the stream and I see Broad and friends losing games that they could win, and they know that they could have won this game, and they're not chilling anymore. And I've been distracted again by the GTA races, and that is a real issue for me.
Soothe our aching hearts with some mindless GTA footage.
Yeah, I think credit needs to go to the Lionesses, right? I think that was a game that probably could have been ended faster on their behalf, and I think massive credit to the Broads actually being able to stall out 4 as well as they did. We were talking about the strong macro maneuvers that they were making post 25 minutes, but I think that Pia and that Viego just got a little bit too far ahead. And I mean, we saw it in that last team fight, right? They take down, or the penultimate team fight rather, they take down the Ahri, and we're thinking, okay, this is absolutely fantastic. But the Viego was just able to absolutely take over.
Yeah, credit definitely due. The Viego going quite sort of low key for a lot of the game. It really popped off in the last couple of fights. I want to give pretty big shout outs to the top lane, considering how badly that went for the Gragas early. I think it's a little bit on Broad and Friends for not making use of it more. I felt like a dive was very much on the cards early on. The Gragas constantly under tower, constantly low on mana. Felt like it could have been punished more, but with how avalanche the bot side of the map went, I can see why they were trying to stabilize.
Oh, I've just been asked if we want anyone for the losers interview.
Absolutely, get someone.
I've had an Emily say he's happy to. Should I let him know?
Yeah. Let's get him in. Let's get him in.
All right, let's see what they have to say.
Hello,
Hello,
Nemley.
Joel.
Middle Scott here
So-
of Esports News, Middle Scotland. That loss today, obviously, we're talking about mental health in esports. It's a big topic, sort of consistently. How is your mental health right now?
It's all right. I'll live. It's doing okay.
That's good.
I feel like it's probably in a better position than Govs right now, who is already in a game. And would you look at that? He's playing his 101st Aatrox game this week.
That's the attitude you
champion.
want to see after a loss, going into a game and practicing.
Yeah, and I guess it's that horrible dichotomy of competition, because obviously we've been hearing about the scrims that you guys have been doing against like G2, and obviously we've had various Korean teams sort of fly over.
Dichotomy, you could say.
The dichotomy, exactly. Sort of these Korean and Chinese guys flying over to specifically play against Brod. And we hear that you've been doing sort of pretty consistently, sort of 70+% win rate in them. And then you come out here and lose to the Lionesses. What is going through your head at the moment?
Just disappointment, really. We all know we can do better. It was a very, very good game from the Lionesses. But it's disappointment. We all wanted the win. We were all hoping after we got the first half of the split out the way, we were all kind of hoping for an undefeated run, a Broadvincible run, you might call it, in the second half. But that's over before it began. And it's just, we need to go away and have a long, hard look at ourselves and come back stronger on Monday. However, it's Thursday, and we always lose on Thursday. And actually, we finished just in time for the Apprentice. Therefore, it's not all bad.
We are nothing
It's
if
not
not
all bad.
consistent.
So you're delaying
Exactly,
the long
exactly.
hard look at yourself when you turn off that monitor and you see your
Yep.
reflection in that screen. That's
Exactly.
good.
Apprentice comes first. We'll forget the events of the evening. And
Exactly.
And I think that there was, I think that Sir Alan would have had a lot to say about this performance. I think that you can possibly look for guidance from him.
Well, I've never seen a five-way firing before, but I think after today's performance, that may be on the
I think
cards.
you should be counting your lucky stars. You're not in that boardroom, mate, because he'd
No,
be banging some cracking jokes.
I've
and he'd
heard
be pointing the finger at one of the Brods.
I have heard
Yeah.
that you really don't want to be in that boardroom.
Oh no, it's the worst experience. None of us are safe, so to speak.
Yeah, no, and I think that's the thing. Do we think that we need to be looking at managerial changes? Obviously, a lot of people have been saying Southgate out. Is he still going to be involved with Brod and Friends after this performance, or are we looking to get someone who fits the Brexit ball mentality a little bit more in?
I think you've got to be looking at the manager after the string of defeats that we faced. The players, we do take credit, but at the end of the day, the buck stops with the manager. So I think you'll see a change in management over the coming days, and we'll be getting somebody new in.
Excellent.
Well, we're gonna wrap this up now. So thank you everyone for joining in. There'll be further improvements in every stream as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the little upgrade we've got going. If you haven't already, follow the link to follow us on Twitter. It's down just below.
You.
But yeah, Thank you very much for the interview,
Thank
Joel.
you.
Thank you, Middlecott and Tobin, for casting as well. And yeah, see you guys on the next stream.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Goodbye.